Well, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of my favorite filmmakers. He's made so many great offbeat, different movies, different from anybody else, I think, in the past few years. From Boogie Nights to Magnolia to Inherent Vice, of course, There Will Be Blood. And in fact, he's now reunited with the star of There Will Be Blood, Daniel Day-Lewis, in a new movie set in the 1950s around the haute couture, the fashion world of that time, and he plays a major fashion designer by the name of Reynolds Woodcock. How about that name? And he is obsessed with his own career, his own life, his own art and creations, and wants nothing else to do with anything, basically. This is like a dress to him. Designing a dress is like the second coming.
And sew almost anything into the canvas of a coat. When I was a boy, I started to hide things in the linings of the garments.
In his life also is his sister Cyril, and Cyril is played by Leslie Manville, and she is really the keeper of the kingdom there. She's the one that truly understands him and protects him and lets him do his great art in this world. Well, into his life comes another character by the name of Alma. Now, Alma is played by Vicky Krieps, and Vicky is a waitress here that he meets, and in pure Henry Higgins fashion, kind of like something out of Pygmalion, well, later My Fair Lady, he invites her into his life, uses her sort of as his new muse or whatever else, but she is not exactly what he thought she was. And as she becomes the great new fashion maven, this person that puts on his dresses and does the style that he sees, he finds that there's a lot more than he bargained for here. And this is a movie about three people, him, his sister, and Alma, who all have a sense of control, a sense of power over one another, and you never know which way it's going. And this movie is steeped in the world of fashion, of costumes. This is a love letter, in fact, to costume designers. Certainly, I can guarantee you it will be nominated for the Oscar for costume design and probably win. Mark Bridges has done outstanding work here.
Reynolds has made my dreams come true, and I have given him what he desires most in return. Every piece of me.
This is a movie that belongs to the mind of Paul Thomas Anderson, who seems really to be doing a film inspired by Hitchcock, in my opinion. Movies like Rebecca come to mind, and maybe even a little bit of Marnie, the movie with Sean Connery and Tippi Hedren, which is all about sexual power and politics. At any rate, this movie has it all in terms of style, look, lusciousness. Anderson is now his own cinematographer, and he shot this film without giving a cinematography credit. Everything about it looks great, and it's going to be in certain engagements in 70 millimeter. It's going to look spectacular on the screen. Daniel Day-Lewis says this is his last stab at acting. He says he's given up the acting profession after this movie and basically blames it on things that might have happened during the making of this movie. He's being mysterious about that, but this is to be his swan song as an actor. He couldn't go out in a better way. It's a very challenging character. It's a difficult character. It's someone you certainly don't warm up to in a big way. He's a complete narcissist and totally insular, but he plays him in such interesting ways and gives him vulnerability as the film goes on. Vicky Krieps is a real find. She's done a lot of acting in her native Luxembourg and in international movies, but this will be her big breakthrough here, I think, to certainly American audiences. And there is the great Leslie Manville, who I think steals every scene in this movie that she's in. And if she doesn't get a supporting actress nomination, something is very, very wrong. This movie is also blessed with a great, great musical score by Johnny Greenwood, who's worked with Anderson many times, but this time he really rings the bell. This score looks like something out of a movie made in the 50s, the time period this is set in. This film is in a place, in a sense of time, and it's something that I can't get out of my head. It is a very memorable movie in many different ways. I don't want to give away too much about how these characters interact, but you will be surprised, and it is worth definitely buying a ticket. If you care about movies made for smart thinking adults, this is one from the great Paul Thomas Anderson, and maybe Daniel Day-Lewis's last ever. For that reason alone, I say, go. go.